At least Brent Goldstein still has Ted Lasso. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Movie Emporium's Netflix original movie review of Office Romance, the new film from director Ol Parker. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Brent Goldstein and, of course, Joe Kelly have come into the mix. They, of course, helped create Ted Lasso. They are doing a romantic comedy with a lot of cursing language, very graphic nudity, and it's a movie that stars Jennifer Lopez as the kind of controlling ownership person of this company called Air Cruise that she helped create with her father. She, of course, is going through some issues with the Bradley Whitford character who's in this movie, and comes along this lawyer who's played by Brent Goldstein. They develop a relationship. They start to fall in love with one another, and it goes exactly where you expect when things start happening and the idea of romantic work relationships become a problem. It also stars Betty Gilpin, who is a very pregnant woman in this movie, and it's a movie about two individuals who fall in love and the strains of that relationship as things start to fall apart with it. So there you go. Okay, so Ol Parker did Ticket to Paradise and some other romantic comedy films. I wasn't a big fan of Ticket to Paradise, but Brent Goldstein is a pretty funny actor, to be fairly honest. Ted Lasso, his stand-up's really funny. Jennifer Lopez, extremely beautiful at her age, very much an attractive sex appeal, and she is very good at what she does as an actress and a singer, and she was very good in Hustlers. Should have gotten an Oscar nomination. And this movie also has a very big cast of people like Will Sasso, Bradley Whitford, Tony Hale's in this movie, a bunch of other people that I can't remember off the top of my head because it's an hour and 50 minutes of just complete actor after actor after actor after there's so many people in this movie that are famous, but it's a movie that's on Netflix. It's a romantic comedy. It has a lot of cursing, R-rated, stuff like that. So that leads into my review of this movie, and I absolutely despise this movie, to be fairly honest. I think it's a terrible romantic comedy. I don't know what Joe Kelly and Brent Goldstein were thinking in this movie. It's not funny. It's not good in any way. It's actually quite tedious to watch. It's excruciating when it comes to its comedy. The characters are unlikable. They're not funny. They're not enjoyable, and it really is a shame. I don't know what it was about this movie that Netflix saw. Maybe it was the fact that Brent Goldstein is kind of have a resurgent or has a great career, and Jennifer Lopez can sell tickets and sell subscriptions, but this movie it relies too much on the crass humor, the goofy nature when it comes to the workplace environment of like how careful you have to be when you say certain things. I think Betty Gilpin is one of the most like mind-numbingly boring stereotypes of a character. She's very forceful with who she is. She uses the fact that like her baby and she doesn't want help. Like it leads into, of course, that DEI situation. And the movie just really doesn't know what it wants to be. It wants to be a romantic comedy, but it also wants to be crass in its humor and its violent or in its language. And there's a birthing scene that's really like crazy and over the top, and the movie just relies too heavily on not only trying to have this chemistry, which I don't think Brent Goldstein and Jennifer Lopez have at all in this movie, but it also tries to work in this like story of this air cruise trying to keep individuals from I think it's Michael Stolberg is in this movie, or whoever it is. They're trying to keep them from like taking over this airline, and it just none of it works, to be fairly honest. I know I'm not the demographic for this type of movie, but I want to at least have fun and entertainment when it comes to this idea of concepts. And I think what Brent Goldstein and Joe Kelly and, of course, Jason Sudeikis brought to, of course, Ted Lasso is just not here on at all. And it's, once again, there's so much language in this movie. There's so much talking about male genitalia and female genitalia and boobs. And it's just, I get it. Some of that stuff can be funny, but it's just not funny at all here. And the movie looks very flat and very boring to look at. It follows so many tropes that it actually becomes quite infuriating, to be fairly honest. I mean, Jennifer Lopez and Brent Goldstein are very likable individuals, but once again, just the chemistry is so grating. I don't know how they thought these two individuals would be a perfect pairing together. I don't know, but I did not like this movie at all. It's one of the worst movies I've seen this year, and I feel bad because I try not to be too harsh on this type of stuff, but when you watch a movie like this and you watch how it plays out and you watch how they use like people like Bradley Whitford, who's a very, very interesting actor, very comedic comedic when he wants to be, and they have him making barking noises, and they have him running a taco truck, and you have Tony Hale, who's supposed to be the HR manager, and he has to deal with like the stupidest jokes in the movie, and you know, Betty Gilpin, who's like the very forceful, very, you know, you can't say that type of thing, but she like does you know, the eye thing that Robert De Niro does type of situation. Betty Gilpin's a very talented actress, and she deserves much better than what she got in this movie. And once again, it's a movie that I'm sure they were paid pretty decently, especially Jennifer Lopez, but it's just not funny. It's not entertaining, and it's actually quite excruciating to watch, and it should never have been 2 hours long. It should have been like an hour and 30 minutes. And then on top of that, you're throwing Edward James Olmos, who's a very talented actor in his own right, and you're throwing him in there and he does nothing for the movie. So movie has a lot of cameos, movie has a lot of famous people in it, but it does absolutely nothing for me or for the public going audience. So you might find something out of Office Romance. I didn't think it was very good at all. So there you go. But with that said, that'll be it. That'll be my take on Office Romance. I do appreciate watching. In the comments below, what is your favorite romantic comedy? It could be R-rated, it could be PG-13, whatever it is, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, if you like what you see on the channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. As always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out, guys.